Hey carriers, welcome back. In my last video, I mentioned I was doing a camp in southern Utah in September that required 3 days of gear. And today, I've got my preferred cockpit on. We're gonna talk about how I'm carrying my hydration for the camp. 3 days, 3 nights, 4 days. Also in the last video, I talked about the Ultra Trail Mont Blanc races that were going on this week and how I had 2 athletes doing TDS, and today the 100-miler went off. So TDS went off 2 days ago, and that's a 90-miler, very technical. And unfortunately, you may have heard that there was a Czech runner who had slipped and fallen in one of the exposed wet areas and actually did not survive the fall. My athlete that was in 7th place at the time also slipped in the same area. Fortunately enough, she just hurt her groin and big toe. My other athlete came up behind the accident, which unfortunately at that point, the race directors had called the race and turned everyone around that were racing behind the accident. So anybody behind the accident had to turn around, end their race, and walk back to the last aid station. So kind of an unfortunate situation, but just wanted to give you an update. Hopefully you're watching UTMB today, live stream. It's awesome coverage. Dylan Debo is doing an awesome job. Anyways, let's now get back to my camp in my cockpit of choice. Again, I remember I'm wearing the Montaigne 20-liter pack. And the reason I like this cockpit is that, I turn towards the sun, you can see that this has 2 pouches for hydration. I've got a 350 milliliter soft bottle here, and then I've got a 500 milliliter soft pack here, or soft bottle here, with the hose. So they're stacked on top of each other. And I can do the same over here. Today I just have the one. So I can basically carry about a little over 1.5 liters right in front, nice and comfortable, doesn't bounce. And I'm using the straws to stay hydrated in the desert of Utah. I will also be carrying a hard bottle in a handheld style, old school. I still love it. And the reason being is that we're gonna have to treat our water. And so I'm gonna use a SteriPen, which is a tool, an infrared tool that you zap the bacteria in the bottle. And sometimes it's easier to scoop the water with a hard or a plastic hard bottle and treat the water and pour it into the soft flasks. But I'll see either way. But this also, I'm used to using these, so I also drink a lot better with handheld. So that's what I'm going to be carrying as of right now at the camp. If you can see behind me, I have 2 more bottles, one bottle on each side of me in the side pockets, which is what I also love, but they're filled with water, and I'm just carrying them for added weight to make the pack heavier than what it's going to be. So they're just there for weight. I may carry another hard plastic bottle, or my handheld might go in the side pocket there. Just kind of, I'll see how I'm feeling. So that's what I'm carrying during camp. And I'm practicing that now, and got an Osprey going. Osprey are what they call water eagles. They live by water, but it's the eagle family. Anyways, all right, now getting to the message of the day. I've got 2 athletes doing 100 miles for the first time this year in a couple weeks. And I had one of them email me and said, Eric, I've heard that 100 miles is roughly 80% mental, 20% physical. What do you think about that? So I answered him in a way without thinking too much. I said, I think you have it right, 80%, 20%, but I think it's 80% physical, 20% mental, based on how long you were out there. Meaning 80% of the race, time-wise, it's probably going to be a physical challenge. 20% is become mental. But what I told him is that 20% is exponential. Okay, it's weighted. It's much heavier, weighted much heavier than that 80% physical. And that's where it becomes really, really challenging. So I think that surprised him a little bit, but again, it really doesn't matter. What's important is that you're prepared mentally for it to be a big challenge. And hopefully you have a good coach out there that's prepared you physically. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how you prepare the mind mentally for the race. And so one of the first tips I have is to, in your training, at certain times, train in a way that forces you to run when you don't want to. And that could mean, hey, on Friday after work, you're strapping up the laces, tying the laces, and you're going out and running, and maybe you spend a few hours in the dark Friday night, and then you set the alarm for 3 or 4 a.m. that next morning, getting up and going out running again when you're tired, when you don't want to. So the key is, part of the mental aspects of running 100 miles or running really long is being able to perform when you don't want to. And then that carries over to the next tip, is during the race, part of our strategy is to run well, run focused when you're feeling good. Because even at the most perfect, ideal race, there are always going to be low spots. In any 100 mile or any ultra marathon, there's going to be low spots, again, even with the most perfect race. So you know you're going to slow down when you're not feeling so good. So the key is, when you do feel good, to make sure you're moving well appropriately. You don't want to do it too hard, but you want to be really, really focused when you are able to really move well. My athletes always, I have it ingrained in their head of take advantage of the downhills, take advantage of when it's flat, when you're able to move a little bit faster at less effort. Okay, no different when you're feeling good. Take advantage of that. Eat when you're feeling good, because it's hard to eat when you're not feeling good. So really, really focus when things are going well, so you can take advantage of that time. And then when things start to go low a little bit, you gotta then troubleshoot. Hey, if your stomach is upset and you're kind of puking a little bit, hey, that's maybe more of a dehydration thing. Drink water. If you're starting to feel really tired, 9 times out of 10 in an ultra marathon, when you feel tired, it's a fueling issue, not a tired issue, not something physical. So eat when you feel tired. It will help tremendously. And then that leads us to the last tip of visualization. This is something that you can practice leading up into the race, is that most times people visualize all the things they want to happen. And that's important. Visualize how you want the race to go. But what is also important in running long, racing long, is, like I mentioned, there's going to be low points. That's natural. You've got to visualize yourself during a low point of troubleshooting, getting yourself out of that situation. What do you need to do? In your mind's eye, see yourself perform when you're not feeling very good. Because that's the key to ultramarathoning and running long. Can you perform when you don't want to? Can you perform when things aren't going well? See yourself perform how you want to perform during those challenging points, just as much as the good points. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in. That's the message of the day, and gonna put this to the test in a long run this weekend. So I'll catch you next time. Thanks.